She deserves to get her jersey retired. She deserves to be celebrated at Iowa. This is who she is, and this is what she brings to the table.
Stephen A. Smith just left Caitlin Clark absolutely speechless with what he said. And honestly, he might be onto something huge. In his boldest form yet, Stephen A. declared that Caitlin Clark is a legitimate contender for the MVP of all sports.
The WNBA, because the biggest thing about the WNBA is it has not yet been profitable.
And with her bringing unprecedented viewership and business to the WNBA, it's reality worth paying attention to.
I think she's ready. She know it's her second year. She know what type of physicality it's going to take. Look like she's always in great shape, never afraid of the moment.
The reaction is immediate and electric. Social media lit up like a scoreboard in overtime. Clips of his declaration trended everywhere, with hashtags like #Caitlin4MVP dominating timelines. Fans couldn't get enough of it, while even skeptics had to pause and take note.
I just think that she's elevating the profile of women's sports in a way that most women should deeply.
It's classic Stephen A. He called Clark a storm warning for defenders and said she's changing the weather in women basketball.
Stephen A. Smith, First Take, Big Perk, all together, came on today and gave huge compliments towards Caitlin Clark.
But here's the kicker. Stephen A. wasn't exaggerating. Caitlin Clark has become a force so powerful, she's reshaping the WNBA itself.
And not only there, they were on Twitter as well, giving love to Caitlin Clark, and people seem to not like it.
She's a gravitational pull, warping the league's dynamics like a supernova. Teams don't just prepare for her, they revolve around her. Her ability to drain logo threes, rack up double-doubles, and slice through defenses like a hot knife through butter isn't just entertaining, it's transformative.
What I've kind of been saying for the entirety of last season, because we knew that this was going to happen. There's fan bases like the New York Liberty that have a pretty hardcore fan base, but their fan base is going to grow even more because of the trickle-down effect that's happening with the Caitlin Clark effect.
Her impact confined to the court either. Off the hardwood, Caitlin Clark has become a cultural phenomenon. Her charisma is undeniable, her social media presence magnetic. Fans aren't just following her career, they're living it with her.
And I did an event with her and my guy Mark Shapiro in Iowa, that's his alma mater. 11,000 people showed up.
Remember the time she pulled 200,000 likes on a single post before halftime? That's not just popularity, that's influence.
Special, just a different type of electricity, man. Did you hear the roar of the crowd while that shot was in flight? Like, I'm expecting big things from her, especially in.
Her marketability is on a level most athletes can only dream of. She's the face of a new era, one that connects diehard basketball enthusiasts with casual fans who are drawn to her sheer magnetism. It's no wonder brands and sponsors are lining up. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's a movement, one that's reshaping how we view women's sports.
Again, we're talking about Caitlin Clark here. The spotlight been on her for years. She's not going to shy away from it. I expect her to be in the MVP conversation.
And this is why Stephen A.'s words carry so much weight. When someone like him, with decades of expertise and a reputation for bold takes, goes all in on a player like Caitlin Clark, it's more than hype. It's a declaration that something extraordinary is happening, a shift in how we understand greatness in sports.
The WNBA is it has not yet been profitable in a sense that it's able to make enough profit to pay the players a significant salary for the work that they are doing.
Let's talk about the WNBA before Caitlin Clark. Arenas were ghost towns. You could hear sneakers squeaking from the cheap seats because, well, there weren't any fans there to drown out the noise. It was the kind of situation where concession stand workers were likely offering buy one hot dog, get 3 tickets free deals. But then Caitlin Clark walked in, and suddenly, we've got fire code violations happening at games.
It's such a make or break time for these players, for these teams to prove we can get the attendance, we can get the viewership, and the Indiana Fever might be able to do that themselves.
Let's take Indiana Fever, for example. A team that once struggled to get anyone to care now has people camping outside the ticket office like it's a Taylor Swift concert. These were the same fans who wouldn't cross the street for a game a year ago, and now they're skipping rent to sit courtside. Yes, skipping rent.
and the final attendance in Carver Hawkeye Arena was 14,998. So if you do the math, that is over $10 million.
And let's not even start on her homecoming game. Over 10,000 people showed up for what was basically a preseason affair, a preseason game. That's the kind of attendance NBA teams pray for during regular season matchups. The energy in the arena? Pure chaos.
$10 million being generated in just ticket sales for one preseason game. Think about the ticket sales, and the price of tickets are going to go up. Hopefully it doesn't outpace the actual fans, like it doesn't get too crazy. It already is getting pretty crazy.
Fans were screaming, chanting, and doing whatever it took to get a glimpse of her brilliance. It's like the Beatles landed in women's basketball, but instead of guitars, Caitlin Clark is out there draining logo threes.
Preseason game was a little insane, but just think about the amount of revenue that this Indiana Fever is going to bring in and how promising that is for the WNBA.
It's not just about filling seats. It's a cultural shift. People no longer say, "There's a WNBA game tonight." Now it's more like, "I need tickets, even if I have to sell my kidneys." The Caitlin effect is real, transforming arenas from quiet gymnasiums into gladiator coliseums.
Phenomenal player. She's a phenomenal shooter. I call her the Steph Curry of women's basketball. I've been calling her that since last.
Now let's get to Stephen A. Smith. His recent comments about Caitlin Clark? Absolutely bonkers. But here's the thing. They're not wrong.
You want to promote the sport. You put that girl up in there, and people were appalled at that notion.
He called her Steph Curry with better aim. Let that sink in. Steph Curry, the guy who broke the game of basketball with his shooting range. And Stephen A. thinks Caitlin's even sharper. Then he took it a step further, saying she's like a director of horror movies, with defenders as the extras who always meet tragic ends. The man has a way with words, doesn't he?
What's crazy is you had Monica McNutt, Andrea, Shanae, all on the panel right before the game. And they had a graphic, an interesting graphic that popped up showing that Caitlin Clark had the best odds to win the MVP this year. And man,
And Stephen A. wasn't done. He declared that Caitlin Clark has already checked every MVP box. Translation? She's done more in her first seasons than some players accomplish in their entire careers. She's changed the energy of the league, drawing attention and respect that's been decades in the making.
Profound impact on the game. She's elevated the profile of women's basketball because she's a superstar talent.
And don't forget Stephen A.'s own transformation. He hosted an event with Caitlin Clark once and went from admiring her talent to practically preaching her greatness. The man is now her loudest advocate, and honestly, it's hard to blame him.
The biggest WNBA season that we have ever seen when it comes to attendance, when it comes to viewership, when it comes to jersey sales, when it comes to merch sales. It's going to be the biggest that we have seen.
Caitlin Clark isn't just a game changer on the court, she's transforming the entire league. For years, WNBA players dealt with commercial flights, middle seats, screaming babies, the works. But now charter flights are becoming the standard, and Clark's meteoric rise isn't a coincidence. When you've got a star this bright, the league has to step up its game.
This is going to be the first year in WNBA history that this league is profitable.
And then there's the media. Networks like ESPN aren't just covering WNBA games, they're practically running a Caitlin Clark channel. Highlight reels, exclusive interviews, in-depth features. It's a full-blown media frenzy.
Going to these different arenas and going up against these different teams, it's so much more exposure for these other teams and these other players for people to become fans of, to get invested in.
And guess what? People are tuning in. Ratings are skyrocketing, sponsors are lining up, and the WNBA is finally getting the attention it deserves. And the backlash is massive. Every time someone shines too brightly, the critics roll in, armed with their clipboards of outdated arguments. Caitlin Clark's MVP candidacy is too soon, they say. She's too young, too inexperienced, and hasn't earned it. Apparently, there's a secret WNBA handbook that says you have to marinate in mediocrity for a few years before you're allowed to be great. But here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark isn't just great. She's game-breaking. The earning it narrative sounds cute until you realize she's been outplaying veterans since she stepped onto the court. The stats don't lie, folks. Triple doubles, buzzer beaters, logo threes. It's like she's out there casually rewriting the rules of the game while critics are still flipping through the table of contents.
After advancing to the national championship game before losing to Dawn Staley in South Carolina last year, what does she do? She goes out in the WNBA and she balls out there as well.
And Stephen A. Smith? He's having none of it. His response to these skeptics? Pure gold. MVP doesn't care about seniority, it cares about impact. Clark's dominance isn't just undeniable, it's unavoidable. The MVP debate isn't about age or tradition anymore. It's about acknowledging what's right in front of us, a player who redefines what the award is supposed to mean.
They can continue down this path, and we've seen so many promising things with the way that the league is marketing their players now, the way they're marketing their teams now.
Her influence doesn't stop at basketball. She's empowering young athletes, breaking barriers, and creating opportunities where none existed. Stephen A. didn't mince words. Caitlin is rewriting rookie expectations with her performance. No learning curve, no easing in, just domination from day one. She's setting the bar so high that future WNBA rookies might as well bring a ladder to try and reach it.
Marketing their players now, the way they're marketing their teams now, the way that they're putting 41 out of 44 games on national television with the Indiana Fever. They're not shying away from some of these things. They're not shying away from the moment like I felt like they did last year.
And let's not forget her role as the ultimate bridge. She's uniting the casual fans who just tuned in for a viral highlight reel and the die-hard supporters who've been in the trenches for women's basketball for years. Caitlin isn't just elevating the game. She's redefining its audience, making it cool for everyone to care. What's next for Caitlin Clark? MVP titles are practically a given at this point, but let's not stop there. We're talking international fame, Olympic gold, and a legacy so legendary that even Stephen A. might struggle to describe it. Her arrival isn't just a game changer. It's an economy booster, a visibility revolution, and a masterclass in how to dominate a sport with style. The WNBA is thriving like never before, and let's be real, Caitlin Clark is the reason. As Stephen A. so perfectly put it, Caitlin Clark didn't come to blend in, she came to take over. And take over, she has rewriting the playbook, shattering expectations, and proving that when you're this good, the only option is to shine. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to get more on women's basketball.